What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Designated Twitter. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. And on today's show, we're discussing who will be the Dodgers center fielder next season. Is it going to be Cody Bellinger, James Outman, or other? And I want your takes down below. So let me know down below, who will be the Dodgers opening day center fielder next year? Give me your takes down below. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So it's been another frustrating year for Cody Bellinger. Yes, he does play elite defense, but he just hasn't gotten the job done at the plate. A 77 WRC plus, league averages 100, so that tells you his bat has been 23% below league average. You're not seeing the pop, you're not seeing the productivity. He continues to look out of sync, and continues to look lost at the plate. And look, in the past with Cody Bellinger, you know the way that opposing pitchers would attack him. You would see elevated fastballs, you would see breaking balls away. Now opposing pitchers, they're just saying, hey, let's just throw the baseball in his general vicinity, and there's a good chance we'll get him out. And I think the big question with Cody Bellinger is not just, is he going to be a big part of this postseason team for the Dodgers? It's about, is he going to be the opening day center fielder in 2023? Because Belly, he has one more year of arbitration left. This year, he's making $17 million. And so will the Dodgers want to bring back a player that is below average offensively? Yes, he's good defensively, but in that center field spot, will they want to bring him back? And I asked you guys that question over on Twitter. We ran this poll, who will be the Dodgers starting center fielder next year? And 34.4% of you said Cody Bellinger. 47.6% of you said, James, you can't get me out, man. And then 18% of you said others. So that is with 4,321 votes. And we still have time left on that poll. And that is a pretty big sample size right there. And I have to be honest, I'm a little surprised because Cody Bellinger is a guy that is a Rookie of the Year winner. He is a former MVP. He's a two-time All-Star. He is a homegrown talent. He's one of the most popular players in this Dodgers organization. But I think what it comes down to is, A, you do have a viable option in James Outman. And you saw the success that he was able to have early on with LA. He hits a home run in his first at-bat, became just the 8th Dodger to do that in his debut. And yes, it is a small sample size, but with the Dodgers this season in 4 games, he put up a 1409 OPS. He was 6 for 13. And you've seen what he's been able to do at the minor league level. Like I said, they just can't get him out. Man, he hits for 2 cycles, a game-winning home run. And yeah, I think he looks like low-key, and he's high-key a great option for the Dodgers next season. And this is the question here. What would you rather have? $700,000 for James Outman, a guy that can be a plus defender, and he looks like he has the potential to at least be a competent bat at the plate, at least a league average bat at the plate, and hopefully better than that, or Cody Bellinger, which is below average offensive production. And yes, you do get the elite defense. He covers a lot of territory in the outfield. I always say he covers more ground than a Roomba in a mansion, but is that enough to justify paying him north of $17+ million when you have James Outman? Look, when you look at the age difference, they're only 2 years apart, really close in age. And I asked the staff here that question, who will be the Dodgers starting center fielder next year? Cody Bellinger, James Outman, or other? And here were some of their takes.
You know, I don't want it to be Cody Bellinger. Oh, I should rephrase. I would love it to be Cody Bellinger. I don't think it should be Cody Bellinger, but it's probably going to be Cody Bellinger. It's unfortunate. So
those are some of the takes of the esteemed experts here at Dodgers Nation. But here were some of your fired takes over on Twitter. Ab said Trace. So yeah, that's very interesting. Trace Thompson. I think it's a little premature to have Trace in there. I think they want to see what he can do for the remainder of this season. And if he does get an opportunity to play in the postseason, does he produce? Does he have the same amount of success that he has with the Dodgers in the regular season? Will that translate? Because if it does, I definitely think it is a possibility. And then at DXVXD23 tweeted, if Belly gets non-tendered and re-signs for cheaper, he'll probably still start unless he still reeks in the playoffs. And yeah, that was what Mr. Clint Pasilla said yesterday. There is a possibility maybe he finds a way to get a multi-year deal done. But on the same token, he is represented by Scott Boras. I think Cody Bellinger is a guy that has a lot of confidence in himself, and he says, hey, I have one more year left, and I think that I want to put myself in a position in a platform season to cash in big time. So I don't necessarily see that happening, but it is a possibility. And then Just Buzz tweeted, Jamesy boy, unfortunately. So you got James Outman, and then Adam tweeted, neither. Trace wins most playing time with CT3 and Outman getting starts there too. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Chris Taylor, I don't love him as your everyday starting center fielder because, one, we call him the Chris Army knife, right? He has that versatility. When he is right and he's healthy, he can play multiple spots in the infield. Also, he can play all three outfield positions. So if you have him just designated as your center fielder, you don't have that flexibility, and that is what makes him so unique. So I don't love the idea of having Chris Taylor as your everyday center fielder, but he can play the position. There's no doubt about it. And then Walker tweeted, Outman needs more time, but he has potential in my opinion. We could re-sign Trace and get him to play there if Belly is either benched or let go. Outman could be a mid-season call-up or just a backup replacement though. So you've got Cody Bellinger as a possibility and then Outman as a mid-season call-up. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think that, look, if he is able to prove that he can hit at the big league level, Outman is a great option. But next is Mo Soak, who tweeted Mike Trout. So Mike Trout, hey, that's, if you really look into it, it's probably one of the worst contracts in all of Major League Baseball right now is Mike Trout. Yes, he is the greatest offensive player in this generation, but when you look at the injury history that he's dealt with the last few seasons, when you consider how many years are left on that deal, I just don't see that as a possibility. And then Trace Gallo, season 2022, tweeted, Outman or Trace, could be Trace Gallo in left and Outman in center. Yeah, that's a possibility, but you remember Gallo, he's another guy that's going to be a free agent at the end of this season. I think with Joey Gallo, you'll see him sign a prove-it deal somewhere to try to really reestablish his reputation as that power hitter. He's already proved himself as that during his career, but I think teams might be weary when you consider his numbers with the Yankees. I don't think anything he can do with the Dodgers for the rest of the season will allow him to sign a deal that he would like. So I think he would sign a shorter term deal, more of a prove-it deal, and then re-enter the market. He's still very young too. He's still under 30. Then Juan Paulo tweeted Judge. So, yeah, like we talked about on the post-game show on Sunday, I'm a great judge of talent, and I think Aaron could be an option for the Dodgers if they're unable to sign Trey Turner, if they're unable to get some other options they're looking for, because the reality with the Dodgers is, yes, Yankee fans out there, they probably just assume that Aaron Judge is going to re-sign with the Yankees and maybe sign a deal close to $300 million. He will be 31 during next season, so he's not as young as you might think. But hey, the Yankees, they've been a little more cost conscious than the peak Steinbrenner led Yankees. And what we know about the Dodgers, if they go to the dealership, they're leaving with the car. And if they go and try to sign a Trey Turner and he signs elsewhere, or they try to sign someone else, they're going to probably end up with something. And just look at last season. If I told you this time last year that Freddie Freeman was going to sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers, you would think I'm crazy, and you probably still do, but I mean, no one would have thought that. And I think what the Dodgers do is they have their board, they have the players they want to target, but they want to maintain flexibility. And I think the Dodgers say, well, who is the best player available? And you talk about Aaron Judge with the Dodgers, that's massive star power. You signed a left-handed impact back last year, a right-handed impact back this season. Hey, all rise Aaron Judge in LA. That would be big time.
And if you look at Aaron Judge's numbers this year, they're just stupid. He's putting up video game numbers. He's slashing 304, 410, 682 with a 451 WOBA, a 203 WRC plus. That means from an offensive production standpoint, he's 103% above league average. He's hit 55 home runs, has a 9.3 F4. He's gonna break Roger Maris's 61 home run record for the Yankees. So he's put himself in a great position position to get a big payday, and on top of that, he's been durable. Already 597 plate appearances this year, 135 games played. He has the 17th most plate appearances in the last 2 seasons combined. So even though, yes, he is going to be 31 next season, you would like him to be a few years younger, he has proven to be durable, and he has successfully bet on himself. Judge turned down a 7-year, $213.5 million extension that would have paid him $30.5 million annually before this season. Man, well, he's in a great position to get a big payday now, something in the range of possibly $300+ million. You could see him sign a deal for 8 years, $300+ million, maybe something at $38 million per season. That is the market for Aaron Judge at this point. Because look, if you're the Dodgers in that situation, yes, that would be a lot of money, but it could be an 8-year deal. You wouldn't have to be committed for 10 years or 12 years. And the thing with Aaron Judge is his value continues to rise. It's going to be very competitive for him. And also, if you're the Dodgers and you're interested in signing Shohei Ohtani after next season, you want to leave some money for that. But I think, like I said, the big kicker is, do they get a deal done for Trey Turner? Will they want to be aggressive and active in the offseason? And if I'm the Dodgers and I see the other free agents available like Xander Bogaerts and Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson, if I'm going to spend big money, I would go for Aaron Judge and see if he'd be willing to be a Dodger versus any of those other guys.
The thing is, I've learned about covering the Dodgers is you don't roll out anything. You don't roll out anything. A lot of you guys have been hitting me up about the possibility of signing a Jacob deGrom. Same situation there. You just can't roll out the Dodgers because they have all the financial resources. They print money. They have the financial muscle. And I think that it's largely dependent on if they can get a deal done with Trey Turner. But hey, if you look at it from LA's standpoint, yeah, James Outman has a lot of potential. Yes, he's shown flashes, but hitting AAA pitching and hitting big league pitching after the opponent has made adjustments and scouted you is a very different story. And Aaron Judge, one of the biggest boppers in the league, and it'd be very interesting to see him in Dodger blue. Hey, he's from California too, up Northern California. But yeah, my opinion, if you're asking me who will be the Dodgers starting center fielder next season, I still feel like it's going to be Cody Bellinger. I still think it's going to be Belly. And, you know, I bring my facts to the fight. And if you look at his numbers, his first 3 seasons in Major League Baseball, when he took home the Rookie of the Year, when he won the MVP, when he was a multi-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, he hit 111 home runs, had a 928 OPS, had a 380 WOBA, 140 WRC+, 15.4 F4 in 450 games, 1,840 plate appearances. Now let's compare that to the last 3 seasons for Cody Bellinger. From 2020 to 2022, 39 home runs, a 653 OPS, a 279 WOBA, a 77 WRC+. Like we talked about earlier, that means he's 23% below league average when it comes to offensive production, and a 1.9 F4, and that is in 271 games in 1,064 plate appearances. But the reason why I'm not completely selling my stock on Cody Bellinger is he finds a way to get it done in the postseason. He did last year, and in 2020 we saw he had, other than Kirk Gibson's home run in the 1988 World Series, his go-ahead home run in Game 7 of the 2020 World Series is, to me, the most important home run in Dodgers franchise history. He also had the big home run at the beginning of the World Series. He robbed Fernando Tatis Jr. of his lunch money. That was a big impact play. He had a rob job in the World Series as well. So he definitely had a big impact on that run. And to me, when it comes to Cody Bellinger, it comes down to this. It's a just or bust for Belly at this point in his career. That old stance that he hasn't been having success with, he just has to ditch it. Look, he took something that was fixed and he broke it again during last year's spring training, because we saw the adjustment that he made heading into the 2021 postseason where he widened his stance. He lowered his hands. It allowed him to attack high velocity pitches up in the zone. It allowed him to hit for contact. And that is the difference when it comes to Cody Bellinger. Because guess what? If you look at that Dodgers lineup, he isn't batting cleanup. He's batting down in the order. They don't need him to take care of the slugging for this team. They just need him to be an above average bat and hit for contact. So look, Cody Bellinger, he's big into video games. Well, sometimes when it comes to video games and it's not working, you press that reset button. And if that's not working, you take the cartridge out and you blow in the cartridge. And if that's not working, you just get an entirely new system. And I think he needs a new system, not a PS5, a PS35. And that doesn't stand for PlayStation. That stands for productive stance. He needs a productive stance where he can go out there and give himself the best chance to make contact. So like I said, I'm begging you, Cody Bellinger, for all the belly evers out there, who do you got? Do you have Cody Bellinger? Do you have James Outman? Or do you have other? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.